Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Matt Rants. So, this topic is going to be a bit more serious compared to some of the topics that we've done recently. Recently, we've done kind of very loosey-goosey topics, trying to get back to the feel of when I started doing Matt Rants, where it was just, just me talking about some fun stuff, some fun news stories or things like that. But sadly, we're going to have to go into something a bit more serious again because of something that happened recently. So, as you can tell from the title of the video, it says, should this game have been removed from Steam? Now, before we talk about the game in particular, I want to mention that, so I wanted to do this story for a while. However, I didn't get the chance to. Some other news stories came up, and, in general, I've just been trying to prep because I'll be leaving for my brother's graduation soon, in a day or so. And because of that, I'm just trying to do so much work that I didn't end up doing this story a little bit earlier. So, and then but by that time, there was another YouTuber that I actually really enjoyed, and I still do enjoy, actually. What am I saying I enjoyed? I still enjoy his work. SmashJT, because he's released stuff since then that I've enjoyed. And I enjoy his work. I'll actually link to his video that he did in the description box below. But then this video, this Matt Rants, kind of morphed, in a sense, into a hybrid reaction video, news reaction as well. Because of the fact that he mentioned some things that I think I sort of was going to mention. However, I didn't think of them as a kind of retort to anyone in particular. So, and first off, I want to mention, this is no way is saying that he is in any way a hate-filled human being. I don't know this guy. I literally know nothing about this guy other than he makes some pretty darn good videos on the internet. Also, he's smashed things before, and I truly mean that. Some of his earlier works, he was talking about how he used to smash things. So that's all I know about this man. And but there were some things that he said in the video that I think were a bit, not that he is off personally, because again, I don't know this guy. I'm not going to talk about his mental health history. Like that's too much. Like I don't want to, go there. Like I don't know this person, right? But some of the things that he did say were off in terms of, like, I think he was trying to say one thing and it came off another way. And I kind of want to delve into that. But first, before we even get into the whole reaction part, the reaction video part of this, let's actually talk about the game itself. Because the game itself should definitely matter. We're talking about, should this game have been banned on Steam? Or removed from Steam. The word banned being used, I feel it's been used a lot, both in his video and in other videos, and not even videos, and other articles, and I feel a little odd about it. I'll talk about that. I'll talk why I feel that way a little bit later. A little tongue-tied here. So, the game is called Active Shooter. And the reason why this game differs from some other games that you may play that involve shooting and things like that, well, there's a few different ways how it differs. First, you can play the game as a cop or a SWAT team member, a civilian, so someone who is getting caught up in this event in this game. In this case, it's a game. It's not a game when it happens in real life, and the shooter. So and by the way, I would like to mention this game, as far as I've seen from different articles and different things that I've seen covering the game, this is not an open world game. It doesn't seem like you can, like in Grand Theft Auto, where you can kind of walk around and do other things. And if there was like a church or a school or something you could walk into and do something like shoot people, it would be kind of a side thing. Like the missions, if I remember correctly, granted I haven't played every single Grand Theft Auto game, the missions aren't all related to, hey, you're going to shoot up a school today, or hey, you're going to, shoot up a church or something along those, or a movie theater or something like that. Also, another thing I want to mention as well is that early on you could not play as the shooter, and it was added while the game was in development. This game technically wasn't fully out yet. It was still considered a beta. However, Steam had let it through for some reason. They did let it through, and then there was a lot of media controversy about the game. You wonder why, because this game, the setting wasn't as I mentioned, it wasn't in a giant overworld where you can do almost anything. You were basically just taking the role of an active shooter in a school and shooting children and other people, I assume cops as well. And that was the game. And that's just what the game was about. So now I want to mention something before we get into the reaction video portion where I'm talking about SmashJT's video. I want to mention that in no way do I think video games lead to direct violence. You've actually heard me talk about this before when we had the president and other politicians as well saying video games are the problem. And I kind of came out and said, no, they're not. Statistically, look at the numbers. Video games are not causing violence directly. They're simply not. Yes, when violent video games are played by small children, you can see that there are larger signs of aggression, but that's not one-to-one in terms of saying, oh, well, aggression is school shooting. No, that's not. School shootings can obviously have aggression in them, but not all acts of aggression are school shootings. That's just something obvious that I think we know, but it kind of had to just be laid out that way just to have us remember, like, yes, this is not, like, these video games and movies and things like that, and, books or whatever else don't directly equate to, real life violence. So we should definitely make note of that as well. I don't believe that, and I hope you don't either. And SmashJT mentioned that in his video himself. So in that regard, I give him kudos, because not everything in his video am I going to sit here and just, and say like, oh, how dare he? And really, I don't know if anything in the video was very much kind of eliciting a how dare he response from myself. It's just, there were just some things that I think were odd, at least to conflate the two and to bring the two together. And we'll talk about some of those oddities in a few moments. Or at least in a few minutes. So, first of all, and I know this might seem like nitpicking, not all of this will be nitpicking, I swear. The name of the video itself was Video Games Banned Because of Complaints. Now, I would like to mention something, right? Just one thing I want to clarify, because I know there are going to be people in the comment section telling me this, and I just want to clarify. I'm not saying that this is technically clickbait, because yes, the game was, I don't like the word banned, but you could argue banned. And yes, there were people that were complaining, if you will. If you want, I use quotes when I say the word complaining in this case, but you want to say the word complaining, okay. But, and technically it's not clickbait. And again, you have to make a title to sell your video, right? So I'm not saying directly that, oh, it's wrong. But the reason why I'm saying this is because obviously, and I'm sure SmashJT would agree with this, I would hope he would, words matter, right? Words do matter. And yes, intent doesn't always equal impact. Words do matter. And the word banned, I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's just me in this case. When I hear the word banned, I think government ban. I think government is coming to take our games, right? Government, Donald Trump said the problem is the violence in video games. Congress agreed. They passed something insane that, removes these games from the shelves. Doesn't give them higher ratings so that kids can't play them, just removes the games from the shelves and even from digital storefronts or something like that, right? So that's what I thought. I was like, wait, what was banned? Where was it banned from? Did the government say something about a Walmart or some other retailer or Amazon or something like that? Like what's going on here? And as you can tell from the title of my video, it's talking about Steam. Now, why is that important? Because quote unquote being banned on Steam means that the item, whatever the game is, digital item, technically not an item, but still, the game cannot be sold through Steam. That's all it means. So all it means is that you can't sell this game through that storefront. That's not banning. That just means that it can't be sold. Now, you want to say, no, but it is banning. It's still being banned. Yes, but when I think of the word banned, what comes to mind is the word censorship. The idea that you are being censored, and people were using that, if not in his comments, I saw some other comments, people talking about, in other articles, stuff like that, people discussing censorship as if, this is some giant, censoring issue, when really it's just one gaming storefront. Sure, a large one. I would not deny that this is a large, place that sells games. But at the same time, there's nothing, as far as I know, there is nothing stopping the creator of this game, of Active Shooter, to actually put this game on their own website and to sell it. So there's nothing stopping them from doing that. Now, maybe, yes, I understand if PayPal got involved, let's say they couldn't accept the payments, then I think, I completely understand people going, ooh, even though they're still a corporation, still a company, I do get now if we have other companies and other corporations stepping in so that maybe they couldn't even, have it on, a certain company's web hosting or something like that, or it didn't show up in Google searches, or Google said they wouldn't show it at all. Yeah, I understand that would start to feel like something is being, I feel weird about the word censored, but definitely suppressed. I think that word, I'll definitely give you guys that, but this game still has the right to be sold, just not through Steam. So we can't go around, because that's the thing, because the thing is to say, oh, Steam shouldn't be doing this, or getting on Steam for doing this, it's a little strange to me, because at the same time, we can't tell, like, okay, if Steam said, we're not going to be selling any of our games to kids or to adults, even if the group isn't a quote-unquote protected group, if they just said something along the lines of, we're not selling our games to men between the ages of 35 and 36. If you sign up and we find out that you are of that age and you are a male of age 35 and 36, you cannot buy our games. Really freaking odd. And because it's about, I don't know what to call that, because you could say that it's sexism. Some would say sexism, but also remember that it's only it's only 35 to 36, so that's odd. But still, my point here, though, is that that's about serving a customer. So to me, when it comes to serving a specific customer, that's when I think I understand us, not even the government, but just us as people coming in going, hey guys, what's going on here, right? And of course, SmashJT can make a video about anything he wants, so I'm not telling him not to make the video. It's just that, of course, no one is free from criticism, not even me. So anyone that wants to make a video, saying that I'm wrong, heck, talk about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear, your arguments and your takes on it, right? So, takes on this video. So, when it comes to a storefront in particular, we can all of us step up and go, hey, why are you not serving this individual or these individuals, this group of people? But that's a bit different than not selling a product, where we can't walk into, yes, again, we can, quote unquote, in terms of saying it, but it's just going to seem odd if, we walked into a retro game store. And also it would be odd if, let's say you walk into a retro game store, you ask for a Nintendo product, and the store says, we do not carry any new or old Nintendo products. Would it be odd? Yes, very much so. But they are well within their right to not do it. Even if their beliefs were a little off. Like they were like, we want to support America first. And I'd be like, and the reason why I say that's off is because they'd still have Sony stuff there. And I'd be like, I don't know how to tell you this, but the PlayStation was from another country. So even if they came from like America first, no Nintendo products in our retro video game store, but we will have PlayStation 1 products. I'd be like, and PlayStation Vita, and 3DS. Do you know who made those? Do you know who made the 3DS? That would be my response. But again, if that was their take on it, this is why we're not selling those products. That's fine. That's a lot different than saying, hey, you don't look American. You get out of the store. So that right there, that's a big difference. It's not so much, we're not, it's not picking on a consumer. It's picking what is allowed in their storefront. And again, we can say you're leaving money on the table if you're not selling Nintendo products. Totally 100%. So to say, hey, it's, it is odd. I feel like there are people that would buy this game. And I'm sure there would be people that would buy this game. At the very least, there would be people that would buy this game to do reviews on it and be like, this game is the worst. But heck, if it was being sold, then people, the company would be making money off of it. So when that is the argument is, oh, well, this is like not necessarily a form of censorship. I don't think SmashJT said that directly, but, Steam, Steam's removing this game and, people should have the choice to buy the game or not. Well, they should have the choice. That's fair. And they still do. They can buy it anywhere else. They just don't have to buy it through Steam. Steam doesn't have to carry the film, the same way that, I'm going to say, hey, well, CBS, They think they're making money now, but they would make a lot more money if they were airing hardcore pornography. Maybe they would, but we don't need to get our hardcore pornography. If you indulge, I've never indulged personally. Family might be listening to this, Matt Rants. I've never done that. I'm a good Christian child. But the point is that CBS could be making a lot more money if that's all they aired 24/7, perhaps. And I mean some crazy stuff, guys. Like some stuff that you're like, oh no, I know what's depraved. No, you don't. CBS knows. CBS cares. Oh geez. Okay. Even some of our serious topics can be a little light. Because again, as you guys know, I laugh through pain. So to say that, the issue is Steam, I disagree, because the game can still be sold. Another issue that I had, actually no, one thing that I did enjoy, and this is something that I really enjoyed, SmashJT did not stray from the facts, right? He did mention that Valve did mention themselves in a report, or at least they published a statement on it, and they said that this was a troll publisher, and that this troll publisher has broken rules before, right? So their rules, by the way, that were broken were the fact that the publisher has released other games underneath a different username. They were then removed, which means that if you are removed from Valve, their rules state, hey, dude, you can't, or dudette, whomever you are, you can't actually come back with a new username and release a new game. However, he broke that rule. So I think that at that point, when those facts are in, you would think, and this is the point where SmashJT says, hey, he broke the rules, those are the rules that are in place. So then literally you have Valve state, these are our rules, these are why they were broken. You might think it's because we're, agreeing with CNN and other news organizations coming out and saying, wagging their finger at this, but that's not what it is. It's about the fact that Valve, this publisher broke, and the reason why I'm not using their name is because I don't know if they've assumed a name. I don't want to call their alias out and then all of a sudden they're actually a completely different name. So I don't know what name is real, what name is alias. That's why I'm kind of stepping back from the name of the publisher themselves, but both as a company and as a person / username or whatever it might be. But still, so you think that it then goes to, okay, so those are the rules. It sucks, but the rule isn't, it's a violent video game. It's the fact that this game, this publisher broke the rule. Now, yes, you could say, and SmashJT did mention that, this is Valve. Valve was looking into it. Valve was started a case probably because of the complaints, quote unquote, fair. Okay, fair. But at the same time, the big issue is, and he alluded to this, and that's why, and I want to go even farther, and I commented on his video, and maybe I sounded too brash and too rough when I commented, but, because again, I don't hate this person, I don't know him, right? I can't say that he doesn't feel for the victims of school shootings and things like that, families of people who've been shot, people who have killed people in these shootings. So in no way am I putting him down. But the thing that kind of got me feeling a little awkward about watching the video is because he was discussing the fact that some of these complaints are, again, quote unquote complaints, are by people who are family members who have, who have family members who have had their children, maybe their nephews, nieces, whoever it might be, cousins, whoever it might be, killed in these school shootings. And I feel like at the end of the day, while we can't agree with, because look, everyone has been through some experience, be it traumatic or another. We can't stop all violence in games just because of different traumatic experiences. But at the same time, when a game is made specifically about a school shooting, it's just odd to hear the argument that comes back from that. Or to say that the game should be online is, there's violence in other video games as well. It's like, well, yes, there is. But I mean, look at the video. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel right now, you can see that right now I have Star Wars Battlefront footage playing as I'm talking about this. But Battlefront, while there is violence in it, I've never went, in New York State, I've never bought a phaser on the black market. I've never had to travel across state lines to bring back in a phaser that's legally allowed to be purchased in another state. Now, this is not going to become an anti-gun rant. I'm not here to talk about the guns themselves. I'm just here to state that when it comes to video games, when the violence is either cartoony or it isn't using real weapons, or it's about wars that we've already been through, or it's about futuristic wars. Although, to be fair, Star Wars did happen a long, long time ago and in a galaxy far, far away. But at the same time, it is something that is not being and cannot necessarily be replicated. As another thing as well, again, when we talk about the victims and we either the victims or the families of victims, it just feels so strange to say that they're complaining. Now, he wasn't talking about them only as the complainers. There were other people that are complaining too. And to be fair, yes, if you've never been involved in something like this, I'm not always I am a fan of people fighting on other people's behalf, especially those that are don't necessarily have a voice and don't have as much of a voice in any given situation. I'm happy when those who do have that voice, who do have that privilege, do step up and do fight on their behalf. However, I do believe that in this case, the victims and families of victims do have a voice. They have been given a voice for a while now. So to be fair, I do believe that they have voices, but at the same time, it's still odd to, well, what I was getting at though was, yes, I can understand if he was saying, oh, you're complaining about this. The only people's voices that should matter are those that are the ones that, have experienced this. But it kind of felt a little bit dismissive of even those that have experienced this. Because when you lump them in with the complainers, yes, I fully understand it's not about violence, and it shouldn't be about the violence in video games. But this is a situation where it's the creator is profiting, or would potentially be profiting, off of a situation that has happened time and time again and has resulted in the death of many school children. As someone who has worked in a school before and in different schools, and I'm from New York, so I personally don't, I haven't felt the need to worry about something like that. But I'm not going to ever say the thought hasn't crossed my mind. The what ifs, looking at the exits, wondering, what may happen in a worst case scenario type of situation. And again, not being anti-gun here. You should be allowed, Second Amendment, right? I believe in the Second Amendment. You should be allowed to have your gun, right? Good guys. I'm not a big fan of bad guys with guns. I think that people should be allowed to have guns. That's all I'm not gonna go into it any further. This is not the video for that. I just want people to not comment below and be like, you're anti-gun, because I'm not. The only thing is that when you hear from people who are saying, hey, my kid was killed because of this situation, even if you want to take the gun away from it, because of the situation, if we had a string of, let me put it this way, if we had a string of knife attacks that only happened in college campus rec rooms, and I know it might seem like, haha, he's making a joke, Matt likes to make jokes. No, I'm being dead serious. If we only had a string of attacks in college campus rec rooms with knives, it would be odd to have Knife Simulator. You get to knife people in college rec rooms. That would just seem, at the very least, tasteless. And again, it's well within a company's right to say, nah, we're making enough money. We don't need to sell your shit. But also another thing too I want to mention as well is the reason why it seems like the whole, these parents are being brushed under the rug. Why am I making an accusation like this? Well, the reason why I'm saying that, again, I'm not trying to put down SmashJT here. It's just because and I know this might seem like it's actually me nitpicking here, but please understand that to me, it's just the little things that maybe he thought was funny, but it just kind of adds to this really weird tone, in my opinion, for the video. In the thumbnail, he had a picture of a screaming feminist, and now being very fair, also a picture of a very shocked Logan Paul. I assume shocked because of the ban, quote unquote ban. Why is the screaming feminist thing important? First off, some of you are going to say, how do you know she's a feminist, Matt? Well, I actually have seen her face in memes before, so at least it's been used as a meme. And I've seen, like, I don't know what she was actually discussing, if she was discussing something, if she was screaming something. For all I know, she's a terrible human being who thinks that all men should be castrated and that all sexual interactions are rape. I don't know her personally. She could be a terrible human being and want every child murdered, every male child murdered. I don't know her. I really don't. All I know is that I've seen the picture used as memes before. So, and I even Googled it just to clarify, and it has been. So immediately it sets off a tone of, oh, did feminists and the government come to, because still the word banned is in my head. Did feminists and the government conspire to bring this game down? And then also the picture of the feminist was used in the video as well. So again, I'm thinking, oh wow, these people who are trying to, censor and who are so sensitive, and the word snowflakes is used and was not used in the video, by the way. I want to clarify that. But it just evokes certain terms. And I'm not trying to put words in his mouth either. It just, certain terms are evoked, like, snowflake and SJW and all these other words are evoked. And I'm thinking, okay, is this a night trap situation where, when you look at the trial, not only was it the Democrats, but you also look at the trial and you see that a woman who, I think she was literally just given the title feminist, was like, would you feel comfortable if your son went out with a woman would you be comfortable if your daughter went on a date with a boy who just played Night Trap? And I was like, maybe if she played Mortal Kombat, like if he tries to suck her blood through some weird device, she could rip out his spine. So I guess I have to arm her with Mortal Kombat now. Thanks. It was such a bullshit argument, and I'm not a fan of that. And yes, if that was what it was, then I guess I understand. But this isn't like, when it comes to school shootings and active shooter versus Night Trap and Mortal Kombat, I've never, and probably will never, and I'm being 100% serious about this, I probably will never, and also have never, had a mom come up to me or seen a report on the news about a mother crying about the fact that her son's spine was ripped out in a death tournament, in a tournament to the death. I've never heard about that. And the day that I start hearing about that en masse, at the very least, I'd be like, can we try to make sure that Mortal Kombat doesn't get into the hands of children? Because these kids are ripping out each other's spines here. I mean, Jesus. Could we really do something about this? But again, I wouldn't want to ban Mortal Kombat, but still I'd be like, ooh. And the thing too is that, again, Mortal Kombat has existed for a while now. If this had happened, right, would we be okay? Would we be sitting here like, yeah, sure, kids just continuously keep on killing themselves in these death matches, and now this random video game by a troll publisher comes out, and its sole purpose is for you to be a child murderer. Granted, in this case, if there's child death matches, you'd be taking the place of one of the children, I guess. Would it be okay? Even if you want to say, Matt, shut up, it's okay. At the end of the day, it still comes back to, should Steam sell it, right? Should this game have been banned, or should have it been removed from Steam? Which again, I'll get to. I think you guys can tell where I'm going with my answer there, but I'll still get to it at the end of the video. But still, the idea is that Night Trap, as far as I know, no one has ever talked about their sister or wife or something like that being murdered by vampires in a very B-movie-esque plot. Because it just simply, and even then with the Night Trap debacle, right? You were playing as the people trying to save these teenage girls. So even though it was real footage, at the end of the day, and of course it was, it was real footage, but at the same time it was a freaking B-movie, essentially filmed and then turned into a video game. But at the same time, still, you're supposed to be playing as the good guys. If this game was just about the cops, I would be making a video probably like SmashJT's, honestly. I'd be like, hey, listen, guys, I understand that some of you have been hurt by this, and I feel for you. And also, that's the thing, too, by the way. Just not mentioning, like, he feels for these people is a little odd. Again, not trying to shit on him personally. I'm sure he does feel for them. It's just very strange to, again, as I said earlier, lump the complainers that are just like, how dare you make a game involving violence, right? You know, these people who, if they're getting into a fight, they're going to first off remove their glove to start the duel. You know, with people who have witnessed their kids dying due to being shot in a school. Not the same, two different groups, two completely different groups, but still, you know, with the Night Trap situation, if this game rather, just like Night Trap, if you were just the cops, if you were just the SWAT team, I'd feel bad, yes, but you're taking the role of the good guy, which apparently was what the game was originally supposed to be. And I'm not saying I would have played the game, but I at least would have gone, hey, listen, in media, there's good, there's evil. You're killing the evil. You know, that's great. You're taking the role of the good guy, which I would like also to mention that video games are a lot different than movies and books and television shows, because SmashJT did bring that up as well, saying, hey, you know, what if a book or a movie came out and it involved a shooting like this? Would it be banned? Well, you know what? It really depends, I think. You know, and that's where nuance comes in. And we have to really look at this with the same nuance that we should look at a lot of things in life. Where, you know, with A Clockwork Orange, something like that, you know, the main character does get his comeuppance. I don't, you know, in a way, some say you should feel bad for him because of the environment that he's in, but at the same time, there was sexual assault in that movie, so it really, I don't know about feeling too bad for that guy. But at the same time, though, with A Clockwork Orange, and other situations, other films like that. You know, there was one film, it was American Horror Story Season 1, where there was a school shooting, and I felt it kind of changed. So it was done to try to change what we thought about this character and who he was. It wasn't supposed to then be, even though I think, if I remember, I don't want to, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember if he still was a good guy after that. We're supposed to still love him and care for him. But at the same time, you know, there are, and by the way, there was controversy around that too. Clockwork Orange was so long ago, I don't know if there was any controversy, but when it comes to the American Horror Story Season 1, there was some controversy when that happened as well. What matters is this being portrayed in a good light? And with video games, when you're allowed to take control of the main character and become them, essentially, in a way, it is kind of being glorified. Now, I would also like to mention that if someone wanted to say, well, hey, Matt, this game was M for mature, kids couldn't download it, etc., etc. Okay, again, Steam shouldn't just have to put it up just because we want it to. Steam can do whatever it likes, but still, I get it, right? But of course the problem becomes, compared to something like Grand Theft Auto, where when you're buying it from a retail store, you have people stopping you, asking you for your ID. If they see that you're, you know, if you look like a kid, at least under 18, then you're not allowed to buy the game. When it comes to Steam, though, it's all digital, it's all online, and while we should definitely, something I haven't mentioned in the video yet, but I want to also mention that I am a stern advocate for parents being parents. So parents should parent their fucking kids and actually not have them buy the game if the game is not for them. 100% believe that. But at the same time, with the digital storefront like this, it is a lot easier for someone to potentially fake or, you know, put in their parents' date and, you know, age and birthday and something like that, and then just download the game, even if it's trying to not be an under 18 game or something like that. So also, as we're wrapping this video up, I would like to mention some other games that this creator has made. The creator that made Active Shooter. The creator has also made White Power, Pure Voltage, and Tide Pod Challenge, which I have to be honest, depending on how the game would have been made, I may have played, I would have played Tide Pod Challenge. I may have played that if it actually had came out. But apparently again, the creator was taken off, like their first account was banned. And once that happens, you know, again, they were considered a troll. Once it happens, according to Steam's rules, you cannot come back to the platform. Now, again, if, you know, SmashJT mentioned, hey, there are a lot of other violent games, you know, that are on Steam, like Hatred, and there are some other games, well, that have been made. So if those games are still on Steam, why was this game removed? Well, again, as he mentioned earlier on in his video, because they broke the rules. Now, if SmashJT had mentioned, hey, there were other people that broke the rules and they still stayed on, fair. Totally fair, right? But because he didn't mention that, because and it's sad too because him mentioning and going on the rant, and again, I don't use rant negatively because here I am, name of the show is Matt Rants. When he goes on the rant of violence in video games doesn't equal, actual violence, I said it earlier. I'm with him 100%. I will never stray from that argument. It's just the idea of should this game have been removed from Steam? Yes, because the creator broke the rules. And if you want to say, but Matt, don't do this. It's a fucking deflection. Talk about should have been removed for the violent content. Not for the violent content, but for the setting. And I don't think that's a technicality. If the setting was anywhere else, something less topical, and someone might go, but Matt, any violent setting could one day become topical. Yes, but then we'll say, well, it was created at a time when it wasn't. Right? I'm not trying to sit here and say that we should go fucking George Lucas on the older Grand Theft Auto games if they somehow reflect and mirror real life events. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, however, is storefronts are legally allowed to not sell something if they don't want to. And frankly, it didn't even come down to that. It came down to, hey, we have rules in place. They broke our rules. That's that. All right, so that was a long rant. I don't know how it's actually going to look once it's cut up, but yeah, I feel like I don't want this to seem like I'm shitting on SmashJT personally. Again, I've said this over and over and over again. I know there's different takes, so maybe I didn't say it as as many times as I think I did, but I'm not trying to put this guy down and say, oh, his videos are terrible. In fact, there's a reason why I'm linking to the video, and I didn't just. Oh, to be fair, Matt Rants don't just cut to videos. This isn't like the hard mode episodes that I've done, but still, this is not meant to be a video where I'm saying don't follow this guy. We must destroy him. No, I just think that he had great points. But then maybe it's because of how energetic he usually is. Maybe it's because sometimes he makes shorter form content. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. And I think this is a video that maybe should have been as short. I don't know what to say directly other than it seems like he took the issue of people saying no violence should ever be in any of my child's games versus, yeah, I don't have a child anymore due to the violence in real life that this game is trying to both mimic and profit off of. Because and this is briefly, I want to stay in the video games, but I'm still going to slightly delve just a little bit off as we're wrapping this video up. If, with the recent Roseanne controversy, if Roseanne and ABC came to an agreement where, and this would have to be Roseanne stepping in and saying it herself, not ABC, because then people would say some things. But if Roseanne stepped in and said, hey, listen, how about we finish the season of the show? Everyone gets paid, what they were going to get paid. Everyone keeps on getting, so the show isn't canceled and people who are going to get paid for additional 10 more episodes or whatever it was get canned. How about they all get paid? And then my checks, instead of me getting paid, because Roseanne has a lot of money, instead of me getting paid, my checks will go to a foundation that sets to help people after they've gotten out of they've stopped being racists. And the reason why I say that, by the way, is because some of these organizations, it's not just the idea of I'm not a racist anymore, give me money. What they're helping people, I think it's like Love After Hate or other ones like that. What they're trying to do is they're trying to help people who may have been in racist communities, and then once they're not racist anymore, they might be kicked out. Or if they have tattoos like swastikas or other tattoos that they might be a little hard for them to get employed at their local chain restaurant, they might help them get removed and things like that, and other kind of counseling, things like that. If she did something like that, I'd be like, let's continue Roseanne. It was kind of a fun reboot. I've seen a few clips here and there, not a full episode, but I've seen some clips. I liked Roseanne. Let's get together and let's keep Roseanne going, at least for the season. So if this creator had said, hey, I'm going to donate the funds to families, to either GoFundMe's or other kind of organizations that help these families deal with life after, your child has been gunned down in homeroom. That's not hyperbole. That's what happened to some people. So if the creator had done that, again, I'd be making a video just like SmashJT. I'd be like, guys, look, I understand we want to, we're gonna have outrage, but please understand this can actually go to a good cause. And also, of course, added on, if you were only allowed to be the cop and the funds, at least a portion of them or a large portion of them went to these charities and these GoFundMe's, things like that, I'd be like, all right, guys, let's do this. Heck, I would probably, we could confirm that it would be sent to those and it was a cop only kind of game. So you end up taking down the killer. I would probably have bought the game. I think I would have bought the game because it's about context. It's not this argument. That's the thing. SmashJT seemed to have made the argument about the video, at least the second half, about the age-old argument of don't put down our video games. Our video games don't lead to violence. But I feel like this game and this topic, it was something more nuanced. It wasn't just the simple us versus them mentality that happens a lot with many different violent video games, where you have people, some who consider themselves on the left, some who consider themselves on the right, both sides of the political spectrum, and some that consider themselves moderate even, who just come out and go, no, Pokemon's the devil. No, Pokemon's the devil. No, no. You have those far right going, I don't like those breasts because that's sexual and violence, swords. Then you have those on the left, really far left, going, no, those boobs, objectifying women, don't like, even if it was a game created by a woman. It's like, no, nope. And the violence, no, not my baby. I don't know why someone that, for some reason, it should have, but I don't know why their voice was that deep. But still, people from far ends of either spectrum, this wasn't one of those conversations. This was a conversation where you have people looking at you saying, my kid died. My kid's gone. My son, my daughter, some people, their neighbor, right? Their nephew, their niece. I mean, some teachers passed away as well. Some husbands, some wives, some dads, some moms that are never coming back. And I feel like us as gamers, it's a little odd if our first reaction is, but everyone should be allowed to play the game. It's just a little weird. That's all. And again, I don't know this guy. It's just a little weird. And it just came off as a little cavalier. And I just feel as if it shouldn't be applied to every game. And if someone says, well, where should the line in the sand be drawn? I think here. I think we're good, right? I think it's here. I think, Holocaust simulators, 9/11 simulators, child trafficking sims. I think there are lines that can be drawn, and I think those are where we can draw them. I think that's where we can go, I'm not into that. I don't know. And if someone goes, well, I'm into that. All right, but Steam doesn't have to carry it. Again, Steam does not have to carry it. And Steam made a comment about, anything can be allowed just as long as it doesn't promote anything illegal. And just so long as it follows our rules and guidelines. And it's like, look, they can make any comment they want to. I'm not going to criticize them for it. And to be fair, I can't even technically say to stick to their guns or, I can't say for them to stick to their points or their arguments because of the fact that, and I did not mean to make that pun, Jesus Christ. But seriously though, I'm not saying they have to stick to their points because their points were, hey, he broke the rule, or this creator broke the rules. Like, it wasn't even about the violence in the game. But I think that it's just so odd that, anyone who's like, I'm going to boycott Steam because of this, is just like, again, people died, guys. Like, this is not about, if you want to talk about the banning of, or the seemingly removal of certain sexual content while other AAA sexual content is kept, I hear you. That's something we can, if you want to Matt Rants about that, comment below, because I will be on the side of breasts. But, I did mean for it to come out that way. Because that's something that's completely different than this situation, right? Like, breasts do not kill people. I mean, usually. Yeah, more often than not. And also, another thing too, just as we're kind of wrapping this thing up is, breasts don't kill people, sexuality doesn't kill people. And also the fact that, again, not trying to be anti-gun, just saying that it's the idea that, moms are going to come to me and be like, I lost my child to breasts. What? That no mom, no dad is crying over losing their child to breasts or to sex, unless someone has a severe addiction. But that's a different story altogether. I would say. Okay, guys. So end of the video. Thank you all so much for listening in. Please remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. Please comment below if you disagree. If you agree, please do it respectfully. I will be respectful as well. I'll try to moderate the comments, talk to you guys, get in touch with how you guys feel about the situation. And also would like to mention that I would like you to go watch his content, SmashJT's. I linked the video description so that you can watch it yourself. And then, heck, you can come back here and say, Matt, I think you were overreacting. Or, Matt, I see where you're coming from. Whichever way you want to go, please go watch his video. But I also want to mention, and I know I do not have a lot of subscribers. He has more subscribers than I do. I want to mention, do not go to him and start trolling him or spamming him. If you do that, and I see you doing that, I will tell you both on his channel, both in his videos, and if you comment in my future videos to get out. That's what I'll say. I'll be like, I saw what you did. Don't do that again. You're not welcome here if you go out and you spam and you put down other creators and you completely shit on them as if you're part of some personal army, right? Like, no, we talk about love and peace here. We talk about having fun here. Sometimes we get serious, but even then, we don't talk about making mobs because that's not what we do here. So do not do that. However, you want to comment on his video, It'll actually help him in his in the algorithm. Comments do help kind of show user engagement, and YouTube does like that. So if you want to leave nice comments or nice critiques of his work, like I've left some nice comments on some videos. I left a critique on the video that this specific video that I'm reacting to of his. So definitely, please, you can comment on his stuff. Just don't start spamming him and don't say, oh, you're a shitbag or things like that. Don't fucking do that. Just don't. All right. I don't know this guy. I literally know nothing about him other than he did this video and it wasn't like some of his other ones that I've seen. That's all I'll say. Thank you all so much. And of course, the question, should this game have been removed from Steam? Yes. All right. Love you all. Take care. Tune in next time for another Matt Rants. So see ya.